Good morning, Ron, and good morning, everyone. It is Friday, March 13th. Here's what's happening. The FBI says an attack against a Michigan synagogue was a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Yesterday, a suspect rammed a truck into Temple Israel in West Bloomfield with children and staff inside. FBI agents are still working on a motive. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said the only fatality was the suspect.
One of the head of security was taken to the hospital. He got knocked down by the car when it breached the building, and we've had 30 law enforcement officers taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation.
Detroit Archbishop Edward Weisenberger said in a statement, quote, "Together we pray for an end to violence and for deeper peace in our world." Also yesterday, the FBI is saying a shooting at Virginia's Old Dominion University was a terrorist attack. The gunman allegedly shouted Allahu Akbar and killed one person and wounded two. He has been identified as Mohammed Baylor Yalla, a former National Guardsman who pleaded guilty to trying to provide material support to ISIS in 2016. He was sentenced to 11 years and released in 2024. The FBI's Dominique Evans says ROTC students subdued the shooter and, in her words, rendered him no longer alive. The White House is pushing back on a report about Iran wanting to attack the West Coast using drones. In a post on X, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said ABC News based its report on one email sent to California law enforcement about a single unverified tip. She went on to say, quote, "No such threat from Iran to our homeland exists, and it never did." Leavitt called on ABC to retract the story. When asked about the report, President Trump said the drone threat was, quote, "being investigated." And Catholics in Alabama are hailing a decision by Governor Kay Ivey to commute the execution sentence of a man convicted in 1991 of murder in a robbery. Charles Sonny Burton was due to be executed yesterday for his role in a robbery that left Doug Battle in Talladega dead, but it was Burton's accomplice that committed the murder. In a statement, the governor said, quote, "I cannot proceed in good conscience with the execution of Mr. Burton under such disparate circumstances." He also pointed out that Burton would be put to death while his accomplice who pulled the trigger was not. Mobile Archbishop Mark Rivatuso released a statement saying, quote, "In choosing mercy, Governor Ivey has affirmed the dignity of human life and helped foster a greater culture of life in our society." Though long tolerant of capital punishment, the Catholic Church in 2018 noted that the death penalty is, quote, "inadmissible because of the individual's right to life and more effective methods of imprisonment and detention." I'm Matthew Handley, and that is the news this morning. Back we go now to Toledo. Here's Ron, Dave, and Pat.